Hello, I'm Ryan Wolf, and I'm presenting about a workplace ergonomics course offered to faculty and staff at the University of Nebraska Medical Center. The course is designed to provide actionable resources and support and compassion toward faculty and staff. Ergonomics is a significant hazard in the workplace, and it's important to consider because work-related musculoskeletal disorders are among the most frequently reported cases of presenteeism and absenteeism in the workplace. And according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, musculoskeletal disorders account for about 1/3 of all worker injury and illness cases. You can go ahead and move to the second page in the slides where I talk about the learning theories in this course. First is the humanist theory, and it'll be utilized to promote individual health and safety and dignity. Then the social theory will be utilized in this course in modules, which will include short videos of the CEO and 3 departmental leads who have established already a new ergonomics practice or technique or tool at their workstation or within their work environment. So this will give staff and faculty the opportunity to imitate habits, and we'll come back to the humanist theory here with leadership participation creating a significance for the subject that is ultimately linked to employee well-being. Then the experimental learning theory, one of the course assignments is an action item to evaluate and potentially initiate at least one new ergonomics practice within their personal environment at work. To tap into the behavioral theory, faculty and staff can have the option to take a photograph of their new implementation and send it to either the course administrator or post it on the designated Teams or Slack channel to be entered into a raffle for a small prize related to and contributing to workplace ergonomics. Moving on to the third slide now, the learner and setting assessment. There's not really a ton of great data on combined staff and faculty demographics, but when preparing this course, one must assume that there will be pretty suitable representation from both genders and diversity in age and ethnical background. The literacy level will range from pretty high with several master's and doctoral level employees, but it'll also range down to kind of entry level professional staff as well. The readiness to learn will also range, I assume, quite a bit. Some of the staff are going to be pretty interested in this topic. They might have already experienced a musculoskeletal disorder within their own life, perhaps at an older, this will be kind of the older staff. Maybe some of the younger staff or the healthier staff who haven't experienced a musculoskeletal disorder quite yet in their life, they might not feel like this is such a priority in their life. So that will need to be considered, and I have a solution for that. While there is diversity in this learner pool in terms of interest and readiness and ethnicity and age and gender, one thing in common that they all have is the mission and the organization that they work for. So that will be strategically utilized to enhance the marketing for the program and also used to enhance the engagement once the learners are active within the program. Moving on to the next slide about the strategies. The course will be asynchronous and it will span 2 full months starting and ending at the same time for all learners. The course will consist of 5 different lessons delivered in video and instructed or narrated by institutional leaders. That kind of plays into that engagement and marketing piece. The video lessons will be really concise because they're led by leaders or instructed by leaders in the organization. Um, they need to have brevity and get straight to the point. So they'll be 5 to 10 minutes in length at the most, and learners will then be expected to spend 2 to 5 minutes in self-evaluation and implementation following each course. The psychomotor learning domain will be utilized when learners take in actionable knowledge and then activate on the resources and advice provided. And then the learners will physically adjust their environment to achieve the targeted outcomes of the content. And the affective domain of learning will be utilized as students are given the opportunity to share photos and feedback and thoughts through communication with each other about the content in the Teams or Slack channel. On to the next slide. This course and its lessons will be accessed through the Apollo Learning Management System, which adheres to Universal Learning and 508 compliance as directed by the Department of Health and Human Services. And there will be special resources given to those who have specific needs in terms of ergonomics and mobility based upon their personal physical abilities or limitations. And as one of the particular courses out of the 5 will be designed for staff or faculty who have diverse job functions. For example, some of the staff or faculty might work primarily from a computer desk station like I am right now, but some of them might have a job where they're standing and they're mobile throughout their workday. So learners will go ahead and self-select into the lesson that best fits their personal work ergonomics and mobility. And then next slide, evaluating the objectives. To evaluate this course, the learners will rate their experience and the perceived effectiveness of the lessons. The CDC recommends following up with ergonomics interventions after 2 weeks due to a period of sometimes soreness or just an adjustment period. So another survey will be administered after 2 weeks. Additionally, the facilitated Teams and Slack channel will be monitored by the administrator to identify dialogue and photographic kind of compliance of the course material and content. And then finally, and perhaps perhaps most significantly, musculoskeletal healthcare claims and workers' compensation claims and costs, OSHA Form 300 logs, and HR productivity indicators will be evaluated for statistical significance and correlation with this course.